She was just a soldier with no future, Michael had said when he left her for his business partner's daughter. 6 years later, he sponsored a military gala. The announcer called for attention. "Please welcome General Denise Carter." The doors opened. His ex-wife walked in wearing full military dress with medals covering her chest. And beside her, 3 girls in matching elegant dresses. His heart stopped. They had his face, his eyes, his smile. She had risen to general. She had his children. They waved at the crowd happily, unaware of the shock they caused. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Michael, you forgot again, did you not? Rachel Pemberton stood in the doorway of the living room. She wore a long black dress that cost more than most people earned in a month. Her blonde hair was pulled back tight. She held a small silver purse in her hand. Michael Thompson turned away from the window. He had been looking out at the city below. Manhattan stretched out in every direction. The buildings glowed with light. Cars moved through the streets like tiny ants. From the top floor of his penthouse, Michael felt powerful. He felt important. "Forgot what?" Michael asked. Rachel sighed. "The gala. The military gala. Tonight. Your company is the main sponsor, remember?" Michael rubbed his face. "Right. The gala." "We need to leave in 20 minutes, Rachel said. She walked to the mirror on the wall and checked her lipstick. "This is important for your reputation. Generals will be there. Senators will be there. You need to be there." Michael looked down at his suit. He was already dressed. Dark blue jacket, white shirt, red tie, Italian leather shoes. He looked successful. He looked like a man who had everything. "I do not even like military events," Michael said. Rachel turned to face him. Her eyes were cold. "It does not matter what you like. Thompson Industries is sponsoring this event. You are the CEO. You need to be seen." Michael nodded. She was right. She was always right about these things. That was why he married her. Rachel understood business. She understood status. She knew how to smile for cameras and shake hands with important people. "Fine," Michael said. "Let us go." They rode in a black limousine to the Grand Ballroom in Manhattan. The driver opened the door for them. Michael stepped out onto the red carpet. Cameras flashed. People shouted his name. Michael smiled and waved. Rachel stood beside him and smiled too. They walked into the ballroom together. The Grand Ballroom was enormous. The ceiling was high and painted with gold designs. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling and filled the room with bright light. Round tables covered with white tablecloths filled the space. Men in military uniforms stood talking in groups. Women in expensive dresses held glasses of champagne. Everyone looked important. A waiter walked past carrying a tray of champagne glasses. Michael took one. He drank half of it in one swallow. "Slow down," Rachel whispered. "You need to be sharp tonight." Michael ignored her. He finished the champagne and took another glass from a different waiter. A tall man in a military uniform approached them. He had gray hair and wore many medals on his chest. "Mr. Thompson," the man said, "I am General Bradley. Thank you for sponsoring this event." Michael shook his hand firmly. "It is an honor, General. Thompson Industries is proud to support our military." The general smiled. "Your contribution means a great deal to us." They talked for several minutes about business and politics. Michael said the right things. He smiled at the right times. He was good at this. He had been doing it for years. Rachel pulled out her phone and took a picture of herself with the ballroom in the background. She typed something quickly and put the phone away. "Was that for your social media?" Michael asked. "Of course," Rachel said. "People need to see that we are here." Michael drank more champagne. He talked to a senator about tax policy. He talked to a businessman about a possible deal. He felt confident. His life was exactly the way he wanted it. Money, power, respect. He had it all. Then the lights dimmed. Everyone stopped talking. People turned to face the stage at the front of the ballroom. A man in a dark suit walked onto the stage. He held a microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," the man said. His voice echoed through the ballroom. "Thank you for joining us tonight for the annual United States Military Excellence Gala." People clapped. Michael clapped too. "Tonight," the man continued, "we have a very special keynote speaker. She is a leader. She is a hero. She is one of the most decorated generals in the United States Army." Michael took another sip of champagne. He did not really care who the speaker was. He was only here because his company was sponsoring the event. "Please welcome," the man said, "General Denise Carter." Michael froze. That name, he knew that name. General Carter is the recipient of the Distinguished Service Medal and the Defense Superior Service Medal. The man continued. Michael's hand started to shake. The champagne glass trembled in his grip. "She has served 2 tours in Iraq and earned multiple commendations for leadership under fire." No, Michael thought. It cannot be her. "Ladies and gentlemen, General Denise Carter." The crowd erupted in applause. People stood up from their tables and clapped loudly. Michael dropped his champagne glass. It fell from his hand and shattered on the marble floor. The sound of breaking glass cut through the applause. People near him turned to look. Michael did not notice. He could not look away from the stage. A woman walked out onto the stage. She wore a formal army uniform. The uniform was dark and covered with medals and ribbons. Her shoulders were straight. Her back was strong. Her face was calm and confident. It was Denise, his ex-wife. The woman he divorced 6 years ago. The woman he told had no ambition. The woman he said would never be successful. Michael could not breathe. Then he saw them. 3 little girls walked onto the stage behind Denise. They wore matching pink dresses. They had white ribbons in their hair. They were identical. They looked exactly the same. The girls walked to 3 chairs at the side of the stage and sat down. Michael stared at them. They all had green eyes. His green eyes. They all had the same smile. His smile. They all had a small dimple in their left cheek. The same dimple his mother had. Michael's heart pounded in his chest. His hands shook. His legs felt weak. He knew. He knew with absolute certainty. Those 3 girls were his daughters. Rachel grabbed his arm. She leaned close to him and whispered in his ear. "Michael," she said. Her voice was sharp. "Do you know them?" Michael could not speak. His mouth was dry. His throat felt tight. He stared at the 3 girls sitting on the stage. "Michael!" Rachel's voice was louder now. She pulled his arm harder. "Answer me. Do you know those girls?" I do not." Michael could not finish the sentence. Rachel looked at his face. She saw the panic in his eyes. She followed his gaze back to the 3 girls in pink dresses. On the stage, Denise stepped up to the microphone. She stood tall and strong. The room became quiet. Everyone waited for her to speak. "Good evening," Denise said. Her voice was clear and steady. "Thank you for that warm welcome. It is an honor to be here tonight." Michael watched her. She looked different. 6 years ago, she was tired all the time. She worked long shifts and came home exhausted. Now she looked powerful. She looked confident. She looked like a leader. "Tonight, I want to talk about leadership," Denise continued. "Leadership is not about rank or medals. It is not about titles or power. Leadership is about showing up when things are hard. It is about serving others before yourself. It is about integrity." The audience listened carefully. Generals nodded. Senators leaned forward in their seats. Michael's heart pounded. He could not focus on her words. He could only think about the 3 girls. "I have served in the United States Army for 15 years, Denise said. "I have been deployed twice to Iraq. I have led soldiers in difficult situations, but the hardest leadership challenge I have ever faced was being a single mother." The crowd murmured with respect. "I raised my 3 daughters alone," Denise said. She glanced at the girls sitting on the stage. "There were nights when I did not know how I would manage. There were days when I was so tired I could barely stand. But my daughters needed me, so I showed up. Every single day. That is what leadership means, showing up." The audience clapped loudly. Michael felt sick. He realized what Denise was saying. She raised their daughters alone. She did it without him. She did it without his help. Denise spoke for 10 more minutes. She talked about sacrifice. She talked about dedication. She talked about service. When she finished, the entire room stood up and clapped. The applause was loud and long. People cheered. Michael stood up too. His legs shook. He felt dizzy. Denise walked off the stage. The 3 girls stood up and followed her. They held hands as they walked. People rushed toward Denise. Generals shook her hand. Senators wanted to talk to her. Business leaders waited in line to introduce themselves. Michael started walking toward her. He pushed through the crowd. He needed to talk to her. He needed to know about the girls. A man in a military uniform stepped in front of him. The man was tall and wore a security badge on his chest. "Excuse me, sir," the man said. "General Carter is only meeting scheduled guests tonight." "I need to speak with her," Michael said. His voice was shaky. "Do you have an appointment?" the security officer asked. "No, but Then I am sorry, sir. You will need to contact her office to schedule a meeting." The officer stood firm. Michael could not get past him. He stepped back and watched from across the room. Denise stood near the stage talking to a group of generals. She smiled and shook hands. She looked comfortable. She looked important. The 3 girls sat at a nearby table eating slices of chocolate cake. They laughed and talked to each other. Michael studied them carefully. The first girl had a small scar above her left eyebrow. The second girl wore purple glasses. The third girl was smaller than the others. She held a stuffed rabbit on her lap. Michael realized something terrible. He did not know their names. He did not know how old they were. He did not know their birthdays. He did not know what they liked or what made them happy. He was their father, but he was a complete stranger to them. His chest hurt. He could not breathe properly. Rachel appeared beside him. She had been watching him the entire time. "Michael," she said quietly, "I asked you a question. Do you know those girls?" Michael turned to look at her. He opened his mouth to speak. Then he said, "No, I do not know them." Rachel stared at him. She looked at the girls again. Then she looked back at Michael. "You are lying," she said. "I am not. I can see it on your face." Rachel's voice was cold. "Those girls have your eyes. They have your smile. You know exactly who they are." Michael said nothing. Rachel turned and walked toward the exit. Michael followed her. "Rachel, wait! Do not talk to me right now," Rachel said. They walked outside to where the limousines were parked. Their driver opened the door. Rachel got inside. Michael got in after her. The driver closed the door and got into the front seat. The limousine pulled away from the ballroom. Inside the car, Rachel sat on one side. Michael sat on the other. Rachel stared out the window. She did not look at him. She did not speak. Michael tried to find words. "Rachel, I can explain. I said do not talk to me." Michael closed his mouth. The drive back to the penthouse took 20 minutes. It felt like hours. The silence was heavy and thick. When they arrived at the building, Rachel got out of the car immediately. Michael followed her into the lobby, and then into the elevator. They rode up to the top floor. Rachel walked into the penthouse and went straight to the bedroom. Michael stood in the living room. He heard drawers opening and closing. He heard footsteps. Rachel came back into the living room. She was still wearing her black dress, but now she carried her phone in her hand. "Sit down," she said. Michael sat on the couch. Rachel stood in front of him. Her arms were crossed. Her face was hard. "Tell me the truth right now," Rachel said. "Who are those girls?" Michael put his head in his hands. He could not look at her. "Michael, I am not going to ask again." Michael took a deep breath. Then he spoke. "Those girls are my daughters." Rachel did not move. "Your daughters?" "Yes." "With that woman? The general?" "Yes, with Denise." Rachel's jaw tightened. "You have 3 daughters that you never told me about?" "I did not know," Michael said quickly. "I swear I did not know they existed." "Explain that to me," Rachel said. Her voice was sharp. "Explain to me how you have 3 daughters and you did not know about them." Michael looked up at her. "Denise is my ex-wife. We were married for 2 years. I divorced her 6 years ago. She never told me she was pregnant. I had no idea she had children. I had no idea those children were mine. Not until tonight." Rachel stared at him. "Why did you divorce her?" Michael hesitated. "Tell me," Rachel demanded. "Because she was in the army," Michael said quietly. "She was a private. She did not make much money. She did not fit into my life. She did not go to business dinners or charity events. I was embarrassed by her. So I left her." Rachel's face twisted with anger. "You left her because she was not rich enough for you?" "Yes." "And now she is a general," Rachel said. "Now she is successful and respected. And you have 3 daughters that you abandoned." "I did not abandon them," Michael said. "I did not know—" "You abandoned their mother!" Rachel shouted. "You threw her away because she did not have money or status. And now you find out she was carrying your children? Do you understand what you did? You left your pregnant wife." "She was not pregnant when I left," Michael said. "I did not know." "That does not matter." Rachel's voice was loud. "You are a coward, Michael. You are selfish and shallow, and you do not deserve those girls." Michael stood up. "Rachel, please, do not touch me," Rachel said. She stepped back. "I need to think." She walked back into the bedroom. Michael heard more drawers opening. He heard a suitcase zipper. Rachel came out 5 minutes later. She had changed into jeans and a sweater. She carried a large suitcase and her purse. "Where are you going?" Michael asked. "To my father's house," Rachel said. "Rachel, we can talk about this." "There is nothing to talk about." Rachel walked toward the front door. She stopped and turned to look at him one last time. "You are not the man I thought you were," she said. Then she opened the door and walked out. The door closed behind her with a soft click. Michael stood alone in the empty penthouse. The silence was complete. He walked to the couch and sat down. He stared at the wall. His mind was racing. His hands were shaking. He thought about Denise standing on that stage. He thought about the 3 girls in pink dresses. He thought about Rachel walking out the door. He had lost everything in one night. And it was his own fault. Michael did not move from the couch. He sat in the dark penthouse for hours. The city lights shined through the tall windows, but Michael did not notice them. He stared at nothing. His phone buzzed. He looked at it. A text message from his assistant. "Mr. Thompson, do you need anything prepared for tomorrow's meeting?" Michael did not reply. He put the phone face down on the couch. He could not stop thinking about the 3 girls, their green eyes, their smiles, the way they sat together eating cake, the way they held hands when they walked off the stage. His daughters. He had 3 daughters, and he did not know them. Michael stood up and walked to his laptop on the kitchen counter. He opened it and typed into the search bar, "General Denise Carter." Results filled the screen immediately. News articles, military websites, press releases. Michael clicked on the first article. It was from a military news website. The headline read, "General Denise Carter promoted to Brigadier General at age 34. Michael read the article carefully. General Carter has served in the United States Army for 15 years. She deployed to Iraq in 2014 and again in 2016. During her second deployment, she led a unit of 50 soldiers through a dangerous mission to secure a supply route. Her leadership saved lives and earned her the Distinguished Service Medal." Michael scrolled down. There was a photo of Denise in uniform shaking hands with another general. He clicked on another article. This one was from 2 years ago. The headline read, "Rising Star in the Army, General Denise Carter completes master's degree while serving overseas." Michael read it. General Carter completed her master's degree in international relations through online courses while deployed in Iraq. She balanced her military duties with her studies and graduated with honors. Michael felt sick. He remembered what he said to Denise 6 years ago when he filed for divorce. "You have no ambition, Denise. You will never be anything more than a low-ranking soldier. You will never be successful. I need a wife who matches my status." He was wrong. She did everything he said she could not do. She became a general. She earned medals. She completed a master's degree. She succeeded without him. Michael kept searching. He found more articles about her promotions, her awards, her speeches at military conferences. Then he found a photo gallery from an event called Pentagon Family Day. Michael clicked on it. The page loaded. There were dozens of photos of military families at the Pentagon. Michael scrolled through them slowly. Then he stopped. There was a photo of Denise in uniform. She was smiling. Standing beside her were 3 little girls. They wore matching blue shirts and held small American flags. Michael leaned closer to the screen. He read the caption underneath the photo. "General Denise Carter, with her daughters Emma, Olivia, and Sophie, at the Pentagon Family Day celebration." Emma, Olivia, Sophie. Michael whispered the names out loud. Emma, Olivia, Sophie. His hands shook. He grabbed a piece of paper and a pen from the drawer. He wrote the names down. Emma, Olivia, Sophie. He stared at the paper. His daughters had names. They were real. They were not just an idea anymore. They were real people with real names. Michael looked at the clock on the wall. It was 3 in the morning. He had not slept at all. He picked up his phone and called Rachel. The phone rang 4 times. Then it went to voicemail. "Rachel, please call me back. I know you are angry. I understand. But please, just call me. I need to talk to you." He hung up. He called again. Voicemail again. He left another message. "Rachel, I am sorry. I am so sorry. Please let me explain." He called 8 more times. Every time it went to voicemail. Michael put the phone down. Rachel was not going to answer. He looked at the names written on the paper again. Emma, Olivia, Sophie. He needed to talk to Denise. He needed to know about his daughters. He needed to meet them. Michael opened his laptop again and searched for Department of Defense contact information. He found a phone number for the main office. He looked at the clock. It was too early to call. He would have to wait. Michael did not sleep. He sat on the couch and waited. When the clock showed 8 in the morning, he picked up his phone and dialed the number. A woman answered. "Department of Defense, how may I direct your call?" "I need to speak with General Denise Carter," Michael said. "Do you have an appointment with General Carter?" "No, but I need to speak with her. It is urgent." "I am sorry, sir. General Carter does not take unsolicited calls. If you would like to request a meeting, you can send an email to her office." "Can you give me the email address?" "I cannot provide that information, sir. You can submit a request through the Department of Defense website." The woman hung up. Michael stared at his phone. He tried to think of another way to reach Denise. He had no way to contact her directly. He did not have her phone number. He did not have her email. He did not know where she lived. Michael tried to go to work. He put on a suit and drove to his office building in Manhattan. He rode the elevator to the 15th floor where Thompson Industries was located. His assistant, Jennifer, greeted him at the front desk. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson. You have a meeting at 9 with the marketing team and another at 11 with—" "Cancel them," Michael said. Jennifer looked surprised. "Cancel both meetings?" "Cancel everything today." Michael walked into his office and closed the door. He sat at his desk and opened his computer. He could not focus on work. He opened a search engine and typed, "General Denise Carter," again. He looked at photos of her. He looked at photos of the girls. He searched for any information about where they lived or how to contact them. Hours passed. Michael did not move from his desk. At 2 in the afternoon, his office door opened suddenly. Michael looked up. Jonathan Pemberton stood in the doorway. He was a tall man with gray hair and an expensive suit. He was Michael's business partner. He was also Rachel's father. "Jonathan," Michael said. He stood up quickly. "Sit down, Michael," Jonathan said. His voice was cold. Jonathan walked into the office and closed the door behind him. He stood in front of Michael's desk with his arms crossed. "Rachel called me last night," Jonathan said. "She told me everything." Michael said nothing. "You have 3 daughters," Jonathan continued. 3 daughters you knew nothing about, and you found out at a military gala in front of hundreds of people." "Jonathan, I can explain." "I do not want to hear your explanations," Jonathan interrupted. "Rachel is my daughter. She is heartbroken. She trusted you. She thought you were a good man. She was wrong." "I did not know about the girls," Michael said. "I swear, I did not." "You abandoned their mother," Jonathan shouted. "You divorced your first wife because she was not rich enough for you, because she did not fit your image. You are shallow and selfish, Michael. You always have been." Michael had no defense. Everything Jonathan said was true. "Rachel is not coming back," Jonathan said. "She is filing for divorce." Michael nodded slowly. "I understand. And I want you to know something else," Jonathan said. He leaned forward and put his hands on the desk. "I am pulling my investment out of Thompson Industries. Every dollar. You will not have my money anymore." Michael's stomach dropped. "Jonathan, you cannot." "I can, and I will." Jonathan straightened up. "You made your choices, Michael. Now you will live with the consequences." Jonathan turned and walked out of the office. He slammed the door behind him. Michael sat down in his chair. His hands were shaking. Jonathan's investment was a huge part of Thompson Industries. Without it, the company would lose millions of dollars. But Michael did not care about the money. He only cared about his daughters. Days passed. Michael went to work, but he did nothing. He sat at his desk and stared at his computer screen. Jennifer brought him files to review, but he did not look at them. He ignored phone calls. He ignored emails about business. He only searched for information about Denise and the girls. 2 weeks after the gala, Michael received an email. The sender was listed as Office of General Denise Carter. Michael's heart started pounding. He clicked on the email. The message was short. "Mr. Thompson, General Carter has agreed to meet with you. She is available on Saturday, November 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning at Union Cafe in Washington, D.C. Please confirm your attendance. Captain Sarah Michaels, Assistant to General Carter." Michael read the email again. Then he read it a 3rd time. Then a 4th time. His hands shook as he typed a reply. "I will be there. Thank you." He hit send. Michael sat back in his chair. He had 2 days to prepare. 2 days before he would see Denise again. 2 days before he could ask about his daughters. He looked at the piece of paper on his desk where he had written their names. Emma, Olivia, Sophie. Michael picked up the paper and folded it carefully. He put it in his wallet. He would not forget their names again. Saturday morning arrived. Michael woke up at 5 o'clock. He had barely slept. He got out of bed and took a shower. He put on a simple gray suit with no tie. He wanted to look respectful but not too formal. He left his penthouse at 6 in the morning. The drive from New York City to Washington, D.C. would take about 4 hours. Michael wanted to arrive early. He could not risk being late. The highway was mostly empty. Michael drove in silence. He did not turn on the radio. He rehearsed what he would say to Denise. He practiced the words in his head over and over. I am sorry. I was wrong. Please let me meet my daughters. But the words sounded empty. They sounded meaningless. How could he apologize for 6 years? How could he explain what he did? Michael's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. His stomach felt tight. He was more nervous than he had ever been in his life. He arrived in Washington, D.C. at 9:30 in the morning. He found Union Cafe on a quiet street near DuPont Circle. It was a small cafe with tables outside and a blue awning over the door. Michael parked his car across the street. He sat in the car for a moment. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked tired. There were dark circles under his eyes. His face was pale. He got out of the car and walked into the cafe. A young woman behind the counter smiled at him. Good morning. What can I get for you? Just coffee, please, Michael said. Black. Sure. For here or to go? For here. Michael paid and took his coffee to a table in the back corner. He sat down facing the door. He wanted to see when Denise arrived. The cafe was quiet. Only 3 other people were there. An old man reading a newspaper. A woman typing on a laptop. A teenager with headphones on. Michael checked his watch. 9:45. 15 minutes until 10 o'clock. He took a sip of his coffee. It was too hot. He burned his tongue. He put the cup down and waited. The minutes passed slowly. Michael watched the door. His leg bounced up and down under the table. His hands tapped nervously on the table. 9:50, 9:55, 10 o'clock. The door opened. Denise walked in. She wore jeans and a simple blue sweater. Her hair was short and natural. She was not in uniform. She looked different without the medals and the formal military dress. She looked normal. She looked calm. Denise looked around the cafe. Her eyes found Michael sitting in the back corner. She walked toward him. Her face showed no emotion. Michael stood up quickly. Denise, thank you for... Sit down, Michael, Denise said. Michael sat down. Denise sat across from him. She placed her hands flat on the table. She looked directly at him. You have 30 minutes, Denise said. Talk. Michael swallowed. His throat was dry. I do not know where to start. Start anywhere, Denise said. Her voice was steady and controlled. Michael took a breath. I am sorry. I am so sorry for everything I did. I was wrong about you. I was wrong about everything. Denise did not respond. She just watched him. I should never have left you, Michael continued. You were a good wife. You were a good person. You worked hard. You had goals. But I could not see it. I only cared about money and status. I only cared about what other people thought. I was shallow. I was selfish. Denise remained silent. I saw you at the gala, Michael said. I saw what you became. A general, a leader. You earned medals and respect. You did everything I said you could never do. I was wrong about you. I do not need you to tell me I was right, Denise said quietly. I already know. Michael nodded. I know. I just needed to say it. Denise folded her hands together. Why did you want to meet with me, Michael? Because of the girls, Michael said. The 3 girls I saw with you at the gala. They are my daughters, are they not? Denise looked at him for a long moment. Then she said, Yes, they are your daughters. Michael felt his eyes fill with tears. I did not know. I swear to you, Denise, I did not know you were pregnant when I left. I know you did not know, Denise said. I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks after the divorce was finalized. I thought about telling you, but I decided not to. Why? Michael asked. Because you made it clear. You did not want me in your life, Denise said. You said I was not good enough for you. You said I had no future. Why would I tell you about our children if you did not even want me? Michael had no answer. I raised them alone, Denise continued. Their names are Emma, Olivia, and Sophie. They are 6 years old. Emma is the oldest. She is serious and smart. She loves science. Olivia is creative and kind. She loves art and music. Sophie is shy and gentle. She loves animals. Michael listened carefully. He memorized every word. I worked night shifts and weekend duties, Denise said. My mother helped me when I deployed to Iraq, twice. I sent letters and videos to my daughters every week. I studied for my master's degree during my free time. I earned my promotions. I built a good life for them. Without you. I know, Michael said quietly. I can see that. You did an amazing job. I do not need your approval, Denise said. Her voice was sharp. I did not do it for you. I did it for them. Michael nodded. I understand, but Denise, please, can I meet them? Can I meet my daughters? Denise leaned back in her chair. She looked at Michael carefully. Why do you want to meet them now? Because they are my children, Michael said. They were your children 6 years ago too, Denise said. But you were not there. I did not know. That does not matter, Denise interrupted. The fact is, you were not there. You were not there when I gave birth to them. You were not there when they cried at night. You were not there for their first words or their first steps. You were not there when they asked me why they did not have a father. Michael felt his chest tighten. What did you tell them? I told them the truth, Denise said. I told them their father left before he knew about them. I told them it was not their fault. It was not their fault, Michael said. It was mine. I made a terrible mistake. Yes, you did, Denise said. Please, Michael said. His voice broke. Please let me meet them. I know I do not deserve it. I know I have no right to ask. But please, they are my daughters. I want to know them. Denise was quiet for a long time. She looked down at her hands. Then she looked up at Michael. They do not know you exist, Denise said. I never told them your name. I never showed them your picture. You are a stranger to them. I understand, Michael said. I will not let you confuse them, Denise said firmly. I will not let you walk into their lives and then walk out again when things get difficult. They have been through enough. I will not walk out, Michael said. I promise. Your promises do not mean anything to me, Denise said. You promised to love me and support me when we got married. You broke that promise. Michael looked down. You are right. I did. Denise stood up. I need to think about this. I need to decide what is best for my daughters, not for you. For them. When will you decide? Michael asked. I do not know, Denise said. I will contact you if I decide to give you a chance. Denise turned and walked toward the door. Michael stood up quickly. Denise, wait, please. Denise stopped. She turned to look at him. I will do anything, Michael said. Anything you ask. I just want a chance to know them. Denise looked at him. Her face was unreadable. I will think about it. Then she walked out of the cafe. Michael stood alone. He watched through the window as Denise walked down the street and disappeared around the corner. He sat back down at the table. His coffee was cold. He did not drink it. He sat there for 2 hours. He did not move. He did not know what to do. He did not know if Denise would ever call him. He did not know if he would ever meet his daughters. It was entirely his fault. He destroyed his own family. And now he might never get it back. Michael finally stood up from the table. His legs felt stiff. He walked out of the cafe and got into his car. He started the engine and drove back to New York City. The drive felt longer than before. Michael's mind raced. He thought about Denise's face when she talked about the girls. He thought about the way she said their names. Emma, Olivia, Sophie. He thought about the years he missed. He arrived back at his penthouse in Manhattan late in the afternoon. The apartment felt empty and cold. Michael took off his jacket and sat on the couch. He picked up his phone. He scrolled through his contacts and found his father's number. Robert Thompson. Michael pressed call. The phone rang 3 times. Then his father answered. Michael, what is it? Dad, I need to talk to you about something. I am in the middle of a meeting. Make it quick. Michael took a breath. I have 3 daughters. Silence on the other end. Dad? Did you hear me? I heard you, Robert said. His voice was sharp. What are you talking about? My first wife, Denise, the one I divorced 6 years ago. She was pregnant when I left. I did not know. She never told me. But now I know. I have 3 daughters. They are 6 years old. And? Robert said. And I want to be part of their lives, Michael said. Robert sighed loudly. Michael, you are being foolish. What do you mean? You have a business to run, Robert said. Thompson Industries needs your attention. You cannot let some ex-wife and 3 kids distract you from what matters. Michael felt anger rise in his chest. They are my children, Dad. They matter. You did not even know they existed until now, Robert said. You have no relationship with them. You have no responsibility to them. Let it go. Focus on your company. I cannot let it go, Michael said. Yes, you can, Robert insisted. You built Thompson Industries from nothing. You are a millionaire. You have everything you need. Why would you risk that for children you do not even know? Because they are my daughters. Michael's voice was loud now. Because I made a mistake. Because I want to fix it. You cannot fix the past, Michael. Move forward. Focus on business. Michael stood up. You are wrong, Dad. Excuse me? You are wrong, Michael repeated. You taught me that success means money and power. You taught me that people remember winners, not failures. You taught me that status is everything. But you were wrong. I followed your advice, and it cost me everything that actually mattered. Michael, do not be dramatic. I am hanging up now, Dad. Michael ended the call. He dropped the phone on the couch. His hands were shaking. He had never disagreed with his father before. He had never hung up on him. But he could not listen to that advice anymore. His father's values destroyed his marriage. His father's values kept him from having a real family. Michael sat down and put his head in his hands. He needed help. He needed to talk to someone. He needed to understand why he made the choices he made. Michael opened his laptop and searched for therapist near me, Manhattan. A list of names appeared. Michael clicked on the first one. Dr. Laura Green. Her office was on the Upper West Side. Michael sent an email requesting an appointment. The next morning, Dr. Green's assistant called him back. Dr. Green has an opening tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Does that work for you? Yes, Michael said. I will be there. The next day, Michael drove to Dr. Green's office. It was in a tall building near Central Park. Michael took the elevator to the 8th floor. The office was small and quiet. Soft music played in the waiting room. A woman in her 50s opened the door. She had gray hair and warm brown eyes. She wore a simple black sweater and glasses. Michael Thompson? She said. Yes. I am Dr. Green. Come in." Michael followed her into the office. There was a couch, 2 chairs, and a small table with a box of tissues on it. Dr. Green sat in one chair. Michael sat on the couch. "Tell me why you are here," Dr. Green said. Michael did not know where to start. He looked down at his hands. Then he started talking. He told Dr. Green about his marriage to Denise. He told her about the divorce. He told her about Rachel. He told her about seeing his daughters at the gala. He talked for 30 minutes without stopping. When he finished, Dr. Green asked, "What are you afraid of, Michael?" Michael thought about the question. "I do not know." "Think about it," Dr. Green said gently. "What scares you the most?" Michael was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I am afraid that I destroyed the only real thing I ever had." "What was the real thing?" Dr. Green asked. "My family," Michael said. His voice cracked. "Denise loved me. She was a good person. She worked hard. She was honest and kind. But I could not see it. I only saw that she did not make a lot of money. I only saw that she did not fit into my world. So I left her. And now I have 3 daughters who do not even know my name." Dr. Green nodded. "Why did you measure people by their money and status?" "Because that is what my father taught me," Michael said. "He told me that success means being rich. He told me that people only respect you if you have a power. I believed him. I built my whole life around that idea." "And now?" Dr. Green asked. "Now I see that I was wrong," Michael said. "Denise has more success than I ever will. She is a general. She earned medals. She raised 3 children alone while serving her country. She did all of that without me. And I have nothing. I have money and a penthouse, but I have no family. I have no one who really cares about me." Dr. Green leaned forward. "You are starting to see the difference between success and fulfillment." Michael nodded. "I think so." "This will take time," Dr. Green said. "You need to understand why you made these choices. You need to understand what you really value. Are you willing to do that work?" "Yes," Michael said. "I will do whatever it takes." Michael started seeing Dr. Green twice a week. Every session, he talked about his past. He talked about his father's influence. He talked about his fear of not being enough. He talked about his pride and his insecurity. Slowly, Michael started to understand himself. He started to see that he hurt people because he was afraid. He was afraid of being ordinary. He was afraid of failing. So he built walls around himself made of money and status. But those walls kept everyone out, including the people he loved. While Michael was in therapy, his life began to fall apart. Rachel's lawyer sent him divorce papers. Michael signed them without reading them. He did not fight. He did not ask for anything. He just signed. Then Jonathan Pemberton's lawyer contacted him. The letter said Jonathan was suing Michael for damages. Jonathan claimed that Michael manipulated Rachel and destroyed her reputation. The lawsuit demanded $5 million. Michael showed the letter to his own lawyer. The lawyer said, "This is a weak case. We can fight it." "I do not want to fight it," Michael said. "Michael, he is asking for $5 million. I know, but I am not going to fight Rachel's father. I hurt his daughter. He has the right to be angry." 1 week later, Michael received another letter. Jonathan was pulling all of his investment out of Thompson Industries. Jonathan had invested $20 million in the company over the years. Without that money, the company would struggle. Michael's business partner, David Chen, called him immediately. "Michael, we need to talk. Jonathan just pulled his investment. We are losing $20 million. What are we going to do?" "I do not know," Michael said. "You do not know?" David's voice was frustrated. "Michael, you are the CEO. You need to have a plan." "I do not have a plan," Michael said quietly. David hung up. 2 days later, the the board of directors held an emergency meeting. Michael sat at the head of the long table. 12 board members sat around him. They all looked serious. David Chen spoke first. "Michael, Thompson Industries is in trouble. We lost Jonathan Pemberton's investment. Our stock price is dropping. Clients are asking questions about leadership. We need to make changes." Michael nodded. "I understand." Another board member spoke. Her name was Patricia Moore. "Michael, we need strong leadership right now. We need someone who is focused. Are you able to provide that?" Michael looked at her. He thought about lying. He thought about saying yes, but he could not. "No," Michael said. "I am not focused right now. I have personal issues that I need to deal with." The board members looked at each other. David spoke again. "Then we have no choice. We are voting to remove you as CEO of Thompson Industries." Michael was not surprised. "I understand." The vote was quick. 11 board members voted yes. 1 voted no. Michael was removed as CEO. Michael cleaned out his office that afternoon. He packed his personal items in a box. His assistant, Jennifer, cried. "I am so sorry, Mr. Thompson," she said. "It is okay, Jennifer. This is my fault." Michael walked out of the building carrying his box. He got into his car and drove home. He sat in his penthouse surrounded by expensive furniture, expensive art, expensive everything. And he felt nothing. None of it mattered. The only thing he cared about was his daughters. 3 months passed. Michael heard nothing from Denise. He went to therapy. He waited. He hoped. Then, one morning, his phone buzzed. An email. The sender was General Denise Carter. Michael's heart pounded. He opened the email. "Michael, the girls are starting to ask questions about their father. I will not lie to them anymore. I am willing to let you meet them, but only as a friend of the family at first. I will not tell them you are their father until I am sure you will stay. We can meet at Greenfield Park in Alexandria, Virginia, next Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Denise." Michael read the email 5 times. Then he typed a reply with shaking hands. "I will be there. Thank you." Michael stared at the email he just sent. His finger hovered over the screen. The message was simple. "I will be there. Thank you." But those words meant everything. He had 5 days to prepare. 5 days until Sunday. 5 days until he met his daughters. Michael could not focus on anything else. He went to his therapy session with Dr. Green on Tuesday. "I am going to meet my daughters on Sunday," Michael told her. Dr. Green smiled. "How do you feel about that?" "Terrified," Michael said. "What if they do not like me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I mess this up?" "You probably will say the wrong thing," Dr. Green said gently. "You are meeting them for the first time. It will be awkward, but that is okay. What matters is that you show up." "Show up," Michael repeated. "Yes, be present, be honest. Do not try to be perfect. Just be there." Michael thought about that advice for the rest of the week. Show up, be present, be honest. On Saturday, Michael went to a bookstore in Manhattan. He walked through the children's section looking at books. He did not know what his daughters liked. He did not know what they read. A young woman who worked at the store approached him. "Can I help you find something?" "I need books for 6-year-old girls," Michael said. "What do they like? Science? Animals? Stories?" Michael felt his chest tighten. "I do not know." The woman smiled kindly. "That is okay. How about I show you some popular options?" She showed Michael 3 books. One was about space and planets. One was about different kinds of animals. One was a story about friendship. "I will take all 3, Michael said. That night, Michael did not sleep. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He rehearsed what he would say. He practiced how he would act. But nothing felt right. At 5 in the morning, Michael gave up on sleep. He got out of bed and took a shower. He dressed carefully. He wore dark jeans and a simple blue button-down shirt. He did not want to look too formal or too casual. Michael left his penthouse at 9 o'clock. The drive to Alexandria, Virginia, took 4.5 hours. Traffic was heavy leaving New York City. Michael arrived in Alexandria at 1:30 in the afternoon. He found Greenfield Park easily. It was a large park with green grass, tall trees, and a playground with swings and slides. Michael parked his car in the parking lot. He was 30 minutes early. He got out of the car and walked toward the playground. There were families everywhere. Children ran and played. Parents sat on benches talking. Michael sat on a bench far from the playground. He held the bag with the 3 books in his lap. His hands were shaking. His heart pounded in his chest. He checked his watch. 1:45. 15 minutes. Michael watched the entrance to the park. Every time someone walked in, his stomach jumped. 1:50, 1:55, 2 o'clock. A woman walked through the entrance. She wore jeans and a white t-shirt. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. It was Denise. Behind her were 3 little girls. They wore matching yellow sundresses and white sneakers. They ran ahead of Denise toward the playground, laughing and talking to each other. Michael stood up. His legs felt weak. He could not move. Denise saw him. She called to the girls, "Emma, Olivia, Sophie, come here for a minute." The 3 girls stopped running. They turned and walked back to their mother. Michael walked slowly toward them. Each step felt heavy. His throat was tight. Denise stood with her hands on 2 of the girls' shoulders. The 3rd girl stood slightly behind her. "Girls," Denise said. Her voice was calm and clear. "This is Mr. Thompson. He is an old friend of mine." The tallest girl stepped forward. She had light brown skin, curly black hair in 2 braids, and green eyes. Michael's green eyes. She looked directly at him with a serious expression. "Hello, Mr. Thompson," the girl said. She held out her hand. Michael shook her hand gently. "Hello." "I am Emma," she said. Her handshake was firm. Her eyes studied him carefully. The 2nd girl stepped forward. She had the same light brown skin and curly black hair, but hers was in a ponytail. She wore purple glasses. She smiled brightly. "Hi, I am Olivia." She did not shake his hand. She just smiled. "Do you like parks? I love parks. The swings are my favorite." Michael tried to speak, but his voice came out rough. He cleared his throat. "Yes, I like parks." The 3rd girl did not come forward. She stayed behind Denise. She was smaller than her sisters. She held a stuffed gray rabbit in her arms. Her eyes were wide and cautious. "That is Sophie," Denise said softly. "She is a little shy." Sophie looked at Michael for a moment, then looked down at her rabbit. Michael's throat felt so tight he thought he might cry. These were his daughters. These beautiful, perfect little girls were his daughters. "I brought something for you," Michael said. His voice shook slightly. He opened the bag and pulled out the 3 books. Emma took hers politely. "Thank you." She looked at the cover. It was the book about space and planets. Olivia took hers and gasped, "Animals! I love animals!" She opened the book immediately and started looking at the pictures. Sophie reached out slowly and took the 3rd book. She held it close to her chest with her rabbit. She whispered, "Thank you," but did not look at Michael. "You can go play now," Denise said to the girls. Emma walked toward the playground. Olivia ran ahead excitedly. Sophie followed slowly, still holding her book and her rabbit. Denise turned to Michael. "You have 30 minutes today. Do not expect too much." Michael nodded. "I understand. Thank you for this." Denise walked to a bench near the playground and sat down. Michael followed and sat on the other end of the bench. They both watched the girls. Emma climbed on the monkey bars carefully. Olivia ran to the swings and started pumping her legs to go higher. Sophie sat on the edge of the sandbox, holding her rabbit. "What are their full names?" Michael asked quietly. "Emma Rose Carter, Olivia Grace Carter, Sophie Lynn Carter," Denise said. "They have my last name." Michael nodded. "That is good. That is right." They sat in silence for several minutes. "Emma is very serious," Denise said. "She is the leader. She takes care of her sisters. She loves science and wants to be a doctor." Michael watched Emma. She moved across the monkey bars with confidence and control. "Olivia is creative," Denise continued. "She draws and paints. She takes piano lessons. She talks all the time. She makes friends easily." Michael watched Olivia. She was swinging high and laughing. She waved at a girl on the swing next to her. "Sophie is gentle," Denise said. Her voice was softer now. "She loves animals. She is shy with new people. But when she trusts you, she is very loving." Michael watched Sophie. She was building something in the sand with her small hands. Her rabbit sat next to her. "Can I go closer?" Michael asked. "Yes, but do not push them." Michael stood up and walked toward the playground. His heart pounded. He stopped a few feet away from the swings. Olivia saw him and waved. "Mr. Thompson, watch how high I can go." She pumped her legs harder. The swing went higher and higher. "That is very high," Michael said. He tried to keep his voice steady. "I can go even higher," Olivia shouted. Emma was watching him from the monkey bars. She did not wave. She just watched with those serious green eyes. Sophie glanced at him, then quickly looked away. She moved to the other side of the sandbox, farther from him. Michael stayed near the swings. He watched his daughters play. Olivia talked to him about school and her favorite animals. Emma stayed distant. Sophie avoided him. After 30 minutes, Denise stood up. "Girls, time to go." "Already?" Olivia said. "But we just got here." "We can come back another time," Denise said. "Say goodbye to Mr. Thompson." Emma walked over. "Goodbye, Mr. Thompson. Thank you for the book." "You are welcome," Michael said. Olivia ran over and smiled. "Bye. Will you come back to the park again?" Michael looked at Denise. She nodded slightly. "Yes," Michael said, "if your mother says it is okay." "Yay!" Olivia said. Sophie walked over slowly. She did not look at Michael. She whispered, "Bye," and then ran to her mother. Denise gathered the girls and they walked toward the parking lot. Olivia waved back at Michael. Emma did not. Sophie held Denise's hand tightly. Michael stood in the playground and watched them disappear. Then he walked back to his car. He sat in the driver's seat. He put his hands on the steering wheel. And then he cried. He cried for an hour. He cried for all the years he missed. He cried because he did not know them. He cried because Sophie was afraid of him. He cried because Emma did not trust him. He cried because they were perfect and beautiful, and he almost never met them. When he finally stopped crying, Michael sat in silence. The sun was setting. The park was nearly empty. Michael pulled out his phone. He searched for apartments in Arlington, Virginia. He found a small one-bedroom apartment 15 minutes from Alexandria. He called the landlord. "Is it still available?" Michael asked. "Yes, sir. Would you like to schedule a viewing?" "No," Michael said. "I will take it. I can move in next week." Michael was not going back to New York. He was staying here, close to his daughters. He drove back to Manhattan that night. The next morning, he put his penthouse up for sale. 3 days later, he sent an email to Denise. "I moved to Virginia. I am here, and I am not going anywhere." Denise did not reply to Michael's email for 3 days. When she finally responded, the message was short. "The girls can see you again next Saturday. Same park, 2 o'clock. Denise." Michael read the email 10 times. She said yes. He could see them again. That Saturday, Michael drove to Greenfield Park. He arrived early again. He sat on the same bench and waited. At exactly 2 o'clock, Denise arrived with the girls. This time, the girls did not run to the playground immediately. They stayed close to their mother. "Hello, Mr. Thompson," Emma said. She was polite, but her voice was flat. "Hi," Olivia said. She was smiling. "Did you bring more books?" "Not today," Michael said, "but maybe next time." Sophie stood behind Denise again. She did not say anything. She held her gray rabbit tightly. The girls played on the playground. Michael sat on the bench with Denise. They did not talk much. After 1 hour, Denise said it was time to leave. This continued every Saturday for 4 weeks. Michael drove to the park. He sat with Denise. He watched the girls play. The meetings were awkward and quiet. During the third visit, Emma walked over to Michael. She stood in front of him with her arms crossed. "Mr. Thompson, can I ask you something?" Emma said. "Yes," Michael said. "What do you do for work?" "I used to run a company in New York," Michael said, "but I do not do that anymore. Now I work as a consultant." "What is a consultant?" Emma asked. "I help other companies solve problems." Emma nodded. She was quiet for a moment. Then she asked, "Why are you friends with our mom?" Michael glanced at Denise. She was watching him carefully. "We knew each other a long time ago," Michael said. "We were close. Then we were not close anymore. But now I want to be friends again." Emma studied his face. "Why?" "Because your mother is a good person," Michael said, "and I made a mistake before. I did not see how good she was. Now I do." Emma did not respond. She turned and walked back to the playground. During the fourth visit, Sophie did something different. She was sitting in the sandbox building a castle. Michael was standing nearby watching Olivia on the swings. Sophie looked up at him. Her voice was very quiet. "Mr. Thompson?" Michael turned. "Yes?" "Do you like animals?" Michael's heart jumped. This was the first time Sophie had spoken to him directly. "Yes," Michael said. "I like animals very much." Sophie looked down at her rabbit. "This is Clover. She is my best friend." "Clover is a good name," Michael said gently. Sophie smiled just a little. "I want a real rabbit. Or maybe a dog. But Mom says we have to wait." "Dogs are wonderful," Michael said. "Maybe someday you will get one." Sophie nodded. Then she went back to building her sand castle. Michael felt something warm in his chest. Sophie spoke to him. She was starting to trust him. The next Saturday, Michael suggested something different. He asked Denise, "Can I take the girls somewhere? Maybe the National Zoo in Washington, D.C.? Denise looked at him for a long time. "I would have to come with you." "Of course," Michael said. "I understand." Denise nodded. "Okay, next Saturday. I will drive the girls there and meet you." The following Saturday, Michael drove to the National Zoo. It was a large zoo with animals from all over the world. Michael had not been there in years. He waited at the entrance. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Denise arrived with the girls. They wore jeans and t-shirts. Emma carried a small backpack. Olivia was bouncing with excitement. Sophie held Clover, the rabbit. "Can we see the elephants?" Olivia asked immediately. "We can see everything," Denise said. They walked into the zoo together. Michael walked slightly behind Denise and the girls. He did not want to push himself forward. He was just happy to be there. They went to the elephant exhibit first. Olivia pressed her face against the glass. "They are so big." Emma read the information signs out loud. "African elephants can weigh up to 13,000 pounds. Sophie watched quietly. She pointed at a baby elephant. "That one is small." "That is the baby," Denise said. "It stays close to its mother." They walked through the zoo for 3 hours. They saw lions and tigers and bears. They saw monkeys swinging on ropes. They saw colorful birds in a large aviary. Olivia asked 1,000 questions. Why do giraffes have long necks? How fast can a cheetah run? What do pandas eat? Michael tried to answer some of her questions. Denise answered others. Emma listened carefully to everything. When they reached the reptile house, Sophie grabbed Denise's hand. I do not want to go in there. You do not have to, Denise said. You can wait outside with Mr. Thompson. Emma and Olivia went inside with Denise. Sophie stayed outside on a bench. Michael sat on the other end of the bench. Sophie looked at him. I do not like snakes. That is okay, Michael said. A lot of people do not like snakes. Do you like them? Sophie asked. Not really, Michael admitted. They scare me a little. Sophie smiled. Me too. They sat together in comfortable silence. After a few minutes, Denise and the other girls came back out. Ready for lunch? Denise asked. They ate lunch at the zoo cafeteria. Olivia got a hot dog. Emma got a salad. Sophie got chicken nuggets. Michael bought ice cream for everyone. After lunch, they walked toward the exit. The path was crowded with families. They had to cross a busy walkway to get to the parking lot. Hold hands so we do not lose anyone, Denise said. Emma grabbed Denise's hand. Olivia grabbed Emma's hand. Sophie looked around. Then she reached out and grabbed Michael's hand. Michael froze. Sophie's small hand was in his. It was warm and soft. They walked across the path together. It only lasted 5 seconds. When they reached the other side, Sophie let go and ran to Denise. But those 5 seconds were the best 5 seconds of Michael's life. When they reached the parking lot, Denise turned to Michael. Thank you for today. The girls had fun. Can we come back? Olivia asked. Maybe, Denise said. Michael drove home to his small apartment in Arlington. It was a simple apartment with 1 bedroom, a small kitchen, and a living room. The furniture was basic. There were no expensive paintings or sculptures, but Michael did not care. He was close to his daughters. That was all that mattered. That night, Michael sat at his small desk and wrote a letter to Denise. He did not email. He wrote by hand on real paper. Dear Denise, thank you for letting me spend time with the girls today. I know I do not deserve this chance. I know you are taking a risk by letting me into their lives. I want you to know that I see that. I am grateful. I am going to therapy twice a week. I am learning a lot about myself. I am learning why I made the choices I made. I am learning what really matters. Dr. Green says I built walls around myself to protect my ego. Those walls kept everyone out, including you, including the chance to have a real family. I know I cannot change the past. I know I cannot give you back the years I missed. But I want to try now. I want to be part of their lives if you will let me. I will keep showing up. I will be patient. I will do whatever you ask. Thank you again, Michael. He put the letter in an envelope and mailed it the next day. Denise did not respond to the letter, but she kept letting Michael see the girls. Every Saturday, Michael met them. Sometimes they went to parks. Sometimes they went to libraries. Sometimes they just walked around Alexandria and got ice cream. Emma started talking to him more. She told him about school. She told him about her science project. She asked him about his childhood. Olivia talked to him about everything. She showed him her drawings. She told him about her piano lessons. She played a song for him on her phone that she was learning. Sophie stayed quiet most of the time, but she stopped hiding behind Denise. She stood closer to Michael. She answered when he asked her questions. Michael kept writing letters to Denise, 1 letter every week. He did not ask for anything. He just told her about his therapy. He told her about what he was learning. He told her he understood why she did not trust him. 4 months after their first meeting at the park, Denise called Michael. It was a Thursday evening. Michael was making dinner in his small kitchen. Hello? Michael answered. Michael, it is Denise. Is everything okay? Michael asked. Denise had never called him before. Yes, everything is fine. I wanted to ask you something. Michael waited. Would you like to come to dinner at my house on Saturday? With me and the girls? Michael's heart started racing. Yes, I would like that very much. 6 o'clock. I will send you the address. Thank you, Denise. See you Saturday. She hung up. Michael stood in his kitchen holding the phone. Denise invited him to her home to have dinner with the girls. This was a big step. Saturday evening, Michael drove to Denise's house in Arlington. It was a small house with light blue paint and a green lawn. There was a swing set in the backyard. Flowers grew in the front garden. Michael parked on the street. He walked up to the front door. He knocked. Olivia opened the door. Mr. Thompson, you are here. Hello, Olivia. Come in. Mom is making spaghetti. Michael stepped inside. The house was warm and bright. The living room had a couch, a television, and shelves full of books. But what Michael noticed most were the walls. They were covered with photographs. Photos of 3 babies in matching pink hats. Photos of 3 toddlers taking their first steps. Photos of 3 little girls on their first day of school. Birthday parties, Christmas mornings, Halloween costumes. Michael stood frozen. He looked at every photo. He saw every moment he missed. Every smile, every milestone, every memory. His chest felt heavy. His throat was tight. Denise walked into the living room. She saw him looking at the photos. That is their whole life, Denise said quietly. Every important moment. You were not there for any of it. Michael nodded. He could not speak. But you are here now, Denise said. Michael turned away from the photographs. Emma and Sophie were sitting at the dining table. Sophie was coloring in a book. Emma was reading. Dinner is almost ready, Denise said. Girls, wash your hands. The girls went to the bathroom. Michael stood awkwardly in the living room. You can sit down, Denise said. She pointed to the dining table. Michael sat down. The table was simple wood with 6 chairs. There were placemats and napkins. Everything was clean and organized. The girls came back and sat down. Olivia sat next to Michael. Emma sat across from him. Sophie sat next to Denise. Denise brought a large pot of spaghetti to the table. She also brought a bowl of salad and a basket of bread. This looks wonderful, Michael said. They ate dinner together. Olivia talked about her piano recital next week. Emma talked about a test she had at school. Sophie was quiet, but she ate all her food. Michael listened. He did not talk much. He just listened and watched his daughters. After dinner, Denise said, Girls, go to play in the living room for a little while. I need to talk to Mr. Thompson. The girls went to the living room. Michael heard them turn on the television. Denise sat down across from Michael. She folded her hands on the table. I am going to tell them, Denise said. Michael's heart stopped. Tell them what? The truth. That you are their father. Michael could not breathe. When? Next weekend. I think they are ready. I think you have shown up enough. You have been consistent. You moved to Virginia. You come every week. You listen to them. You do not try to buy their love with expensive gifts. Thank you, Michael whispered. But you need to understand something, Denise said. Her voice was firm. You are not their hero. You are the man who left. If you want a relationship with them, you will have to earn it every single day. I understand, Michael said. I will spend the rest of my life trying. Denise nodded. I will call you after I tell them. Michael left the house that night. He drove back to his apartment. He could not sleep. Denise was going to tell the girls. They would know he was their father. He did not know how they would react. The next weekend arrived. Saturday morning, Michael waited. He sat in his apartment staring at his phone. Denise said she would call after she told them. Hours passed. No call. Michael's stomach was tight. His hands shook. He could not eat. He could not focus on anything. Finally, at 6 o'clock in the evening, his phone rang. It was Denise. "Hello?" Michael answered quickly. "I told them," Denise said. Her voice was tired. "How did they react?" Denise was quiet for a moment. "Not well. Emma is very angry. She ran to her room and will not come out. Olivia cried for an hour. Sophie is confused and scared." Michael felt his chest tighten. "What did you tell them?" "I told them the truth. I said you are their father. I said you left before you knew about them. I said you made a mistake. I said people make mistakes." "What did they say?" "Emma asked why you were not there before. I explained that you did not know about them, but she is still angry. She said she does not want to see you anymore." Michael felt tears in his eyes. "And Olivia? And Sophie?" "Olivia asked if you want to be their dad now. I said yes. Sophie asked why you did not want them before. I told her it was not about them. I told her you made a bad choice, but she is crying." "What should I do?" Michael asked. "Give them time," Denise said. "Let them decide if they want to see you." "Okay," Michael said quietly. Denise hung up. Michael sat on his couch. He put his head in his hands. His daughters knew, and Emma did not want to see him. Sophie was scared. Olivia was sad. It was the hardest week of Michael's life. He went to therapy with Dr. Green. "They know," Michael told her, "and Emma hates me." "She does not hate you," Dr. Green said. "She is angry. That is different. She has a right to be angry." "What do I do?" "You wait. You respect her feelings. You do not push." Michael waited. Every day felt like a year. Then on Thursday, Denise called again. "Olivia and Sophie want to see you," Denise said. "Emma does not. Is that okay?" "Yes," Michael said. "Whatever they need." "Tomorrow at the park, 2 o'clock. The next day, Michael drove to Greenfield Park. Denise was there with Olivia and Sophie. Emma was not with them. Olivia ran to Michael. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. "Mr. Thompson," Olivia said. Her voice shook. "Mom said you are our dad." Michael knelt down so he was at her eye level. "Yes, I am your father." "Why did you leave my mom?" Olivia asked. Tears filled her eyes again. Michael took a breath. He had to tell the truth. "I was selfish, Olivia. I cared more about money and status than people. Your mom was in the army. She did not make a lot of money. I thought that meant she was not successful. I was wrong. I hurt your mother, and I missed the chance to know you. I am so sorry." Olivia wiped her eyes. "Do you want to be our dad now?" "Yes," Michael said, "more than anything." Sophie stood behind Denise. She was holding Clover tightly. She looked at Michael with wide, scared eyes. Michael looked at Sophie. "Sophie, can I talk to you?" Sophie did not move. "It is okay," Denise said gently. "You can talk to him." Sophie walked forward slowly. She stopped a few feet away from Michael. "Are you going to leave again?" Sophie asked. Her voice was very small. Michael looked directly into her eyes. "No, I will be here as long as you let me." "Promise?" Sophie whispered. "I promise," Michael said. Sophie thought about this. Then she nodded. "Okay?" They walked around the park together. Denise stayed close, but let Michael talk to the girls. Olivia asked him questions about his life. "Where do you live? What do you do? Do you have any pets?" Michael answered everything honestly. "I live in a small apartment in Arlington. I work as a consultant. I do not have any pets, but maybe I could get one someday." Sophie walked beside him quietly. She did not say much, but she did not hide from him either. After an hour, Denise said it was time to go. "Can we see you next week?" Olivia asked. Michael looked at Denise. She nodded. Yes, Michael said. I will be here. Olivia hugged him. Michael froze. Then he hugged her back gently. When she pulled away, she was smiling a little. Sophie waved goodbye. Bye, Dad. It was the first time she called him Dad. Michael's eyes filled with tears. Bye, Sophie, he said. Over the next 2 months, Michael met with Olivia and Sophie every week. Sometimes they went to parks. Sometimes they went to bookstores. Sometimes they got ice cream. Emma never came. Denise said Emma was still angry. She did not want to see Michael. Michael did not push. Instead, he started writing letters to Emma. He did not ask her to forgive him. He did not ask her to see him. He just wrote about his life. Dear Emma, today I went to the grocery store and saw a book about space. It made me think of you. I know you love science. I hope you are doing well in school. I am here whenever you are ready to talk. Dad. He mailed 1 letter every week. Emma never responded, but Michael kept writing. One day, Olivia told him, Emma reads your letters. She just does not want to write back. Michael nodded. That is okay. I will keep writing. 3 months passed. Michael continued meeting with Olivia and Sophie. He continued writing to Emma. He went to therapy. He showed up. Then one evening, Denise called. Emma wants to talk to you, Denise said. Michael's heart jumped. When? Tomorrow. Come to the house at 4 o'clock. The next day, Michael drove to Denise's house. His hands were shaking. He knocked on the door. Denise answered, She is on the porch. Michael walked through the house to the back porch. Emma was sitting on the steps with her arms crossed. She did not look at him. Michael sat down on the step beside her. He did not speak. He waited. Finally, Emma spoke. Why should I forgive you? Michael did not rush to answer. He thought carefully. You should not, Michael said. I do not deserve your forgiveness. I left your mother. I was not there when you were born. I missed 6 years of your life. I made terrible choices, and you have every right to be angry. Emma looked at him. She seemed surprised. Then why are you here? Because even though I do not deserve it, I want to try, Michael said. I want to be your father if you will let me. But I understand if you say no. Emma stared at him. I will think about it. Michael nodded. Thank you for talking to me. Emma stood up and went inside. Michael sat on the porch for a few more minutes. Then he left. 2 weeks later, Emma sent him a text message. I will meet you at the bookstore on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Michael's hands shook as he read the message. He typed back immediately. I will be there. Saturday arrived. Michael woke up early. He had not slept well. He kept thinking about meeting Emma at the bookstore. He got ready carefully. He wore jeans and a simple gray sweater. He left his apartment at 1 o'clock. The bookstore was in Arlington, only 10 minutes away. But Michael wanted to arrive early. The bookstore was called Chapter 1 Books. It was a small independent bookstore with wooden shelves and comfortable chairs. Michael walked inside. The smell of books filled the air. He waited near the front of the store. At exactly 2 o'clock, Denise's car pulled up outside. Emma got out. She wore jeans and a green t-shirt. She carried a small backpack. Emma walked into the bookstore. She saw Michael and stopped. Hi, Emma said. Her voice was flat. Hi, Emma, Michael said. Thank you for coming. Emma shrugged. She walked past Michael toward the science section. Michael followed her slowly. He kept some distance. He did not want to crowd her. Emma stopped in front of a shelf full of science books. She pulled out a book about the human body and started reading the back cover. Michael stood a few feet away. He watched her quietly. Do you come here often? Michael asked. Sometimes, Emma said. She did not look at him. Mom brings us here when we do well on our report cards. Do you like science books? Yes, I want to be a doctor." Emma put the first book back and picked up another one. This one was about biology. "That is a good choice," Michael said. "You have to work hard to become a doctor." "I know," Emma said. "I get good grades. I study every night." They walked through the bookstore together. Emma stopped at different shelves. She picked up books and read the descriptions. Michael followed quietly. After 20 minutes, Emma turned to him. "You do not have to buy me anything." Michael was surprised. "I know I do not have to. I just want to." "Why?" Emma asked. Michael thought about his answer. "Because you are my daughter, and I missed 6 years of your birthdays and holidays. I know I cannot make up for that with books, but I want to give you something." Emma looked at him. Her face was serious. "You cannot buy my forgiveness." "I know," Michael said. "That is not what I am trying to do." Emma studied his face. Then she nodded slightly. "Okay." Michael picked up 3 books about biology. Emma's eyes widened. "3 books is too many," Emma said. "It is not too many," Michael said gently. Emma almost smiled. Almost. But not quite. They went to the counter, and Michael paid for the books. The cashier put them in a bag and handed it to Emma. "Thank you," Emma said quietly. "You are welcome." They walked outside together. Denise was waiting in the car. Emma got in the back seat. She looked at Michael through the window. Michael waved. Emma lifted her hand slightly. Then the car drove away. Michael stood on the sidewalk. It was not much, but it was something. Emma talked to him. She let him buy her books. She almost smiled. It was progress. Over the next 3 months, Michael continued meeting with his daughters. He saw Olivia and Sophie every week. They went to museums and parks. They got ice cream and walked around Alexandria. Olivia was the easiest. She talked constantly. She told Michael about school and her friends. She showed him her piano songs. She drew pictures for him, and he hung them on his refrigerator. Sophie was warming up. She talked more now. She told Michael about the animals she loved. She asked him questions about his childhood. She held his hand sometimes when they crossed the street. Emma remained distant, but she agreed to meet him once a month. They went to bookstores or libraries. They did not talk much. But Emma stopped avoiding him. She answered his questions. She let him be there. Michael kept writing letters to Emma. 1 letter every week. He told her about his therapy sessions. He told her about the things he was learning. He told her about his regrets. One day, Olivia called Michael. It was a Wednesday evening. "Hi, Dad," Olivia said. She had started calling him Dad 2 months ago. "Hi, Olivia. Is everything okay?" "Yes, I have good news. We are doing a play at school." "That is wonderful," Michael said. "It is about family. I am playing a knight. Emma is the queen. Sophie is a dragon." Michael smiled. "That sounds perfect." "Can you come watch?" Olivia asked. "It is next Friday at 6 o'clock at Arlington Elementary School." Michael's heart jumped. "I would love to come. Did your mom say it is okay?" "I will ask her. Hold on." Michael heard muffled voices. Then Denise came on the phone. "Michael, the girls want you to come to their school play." "I would be honored," Michael said, "if that is okay with you." Denise paused. "It is okay. But you need to understand something. This is their event. You are there for them, not for me." "I understand," Michael said. "Good. It starts at 6 o'clock. Do not be late." The next Friday, Michael left work early. He drove to Arlington Elementary School. It was a small brick building with a playground in the back. Michael walked into the school auditorium. It was full of parents and families. Michael looked for a seat. He saw Denise sitting in the 3rd row. He did not sit near her. He went to the back row and sat in the corner. The lights dimmed. The play began. Children walked onto the stage wearing costumes. Michael leaned forward in his seat. He searched for his daughters. Then he saw them. Emma walked onto the stage wearing a gold paper crown and a purple cape. She stood tall and confident. She spoke her lines clearly and loudly. She was playing a queen who had to make difficult decisions. Olivia came next. She wore a silver helmet and carried a foam sword. She was a knight who protected the kingdom. She smiled the entire time. Her voice was bright and cheerful. Then Sophie appeared. She wore a green dragon costume with wings. She was supposed to be scary, but she looked adorable. She roared quietly and chased the other characters around the stage. Michael watched them. His eyes filled with tears. His daughters were on stage. They were confident and strong and talented, and he was here to see it. The play lasted 30 minutes. When it ended, the audience clapped loudly. The children took a bow. Parents stood up and cheered. Michael stood up too. He clapped as hard as he could. The lights came on. Parents rushed to the stage to find their children. Michael stayed in the back. He did not want to push forward. He waited. Then he saw Sophie. She was walking off the stage, still wearing her dragon costume. She looked around the auditorium. She was searching for someone. Her eyes found Michael. Sophie's face lit up. She ran toward him. Her dragon wings bounced as she ran. "Dad!" Sophie shouted. "Did you see me? Did you see me?" She crashed into Michael and hugged him. Michael wrapped his arms around her. He could not speak. His throat was too tight. "I saw you," Michael finally said. His voice cracked. "You were amazing. You were the best dragon I have ever seen." Sophie pulled back and smiled. "I was scared I would forget my lines, but I remembered everything." Olivia ran over next. "Dad, what did you think? Was I a good knight?" "You were a wonderful knight," Michael said. He hugged Olivia too. Emma walked toward them slowly. She was still wearing her crown. She stopped a few feet away. She did not hug Michael, but she looked at him. "Did you come?" Emma asked. "I did," Michael said. "You were incredible, Emma. You were a perfect queen." Emma looked down. Then she looked back up at him. "Thank you for coming." Michael felt tears run down his face. He did not try to hide them. "Thank you for inviting me." Sophie grabbed Michael's hand. Olivia grabbed his other hand. They pulled him toward the hallway where other families were gathered. Denise was standing near the door. She watched Michael with the girls. She did not smile, but she nodded slightly. Emma walked beside them. She did not hold Michael's hand. She did not call him Dad, but she did not walk away. And that was enough. Michael said goodbye to the girls in the school parking lot. Sophie hugged him again. Olivia waved as she got into Denise's car. Emma gave him a small nod before getting in the back seat. Michael drove home to his small apartment in Arlington. He sat on his couch and looked around. The apartment was simple. There was a couch, a small television, and a kitchen table with 2 chairs. He had no expensive furniture, no expensive artwork, no signs of his old life. But on the small table next to the couch, there was a photo. Michael picked it up and looked at it. It was from the school play. Emma, Olivia, and Sophie stood together in their costumes. Michael stood beside them, smiling. Denise had taken the photo on her phone and sent it to him. It was Michael's favorite picture. A year had passed since the gala. A year since Michael saw his daughters for the first time. A year since his entire life changed. Michael no longer lived in a penthouse in Manhattan. He no longer drove expensive cars. He no longer ran Thompson Industries. He had lost his CEO position, his wealth, and his status. But he gained something more valuable. He had his daughters. Michael saw them twice a week now. Sometimes they had dinner at Denise's house. Sometimes they went to parks or museums. Sometimes they just walked around Alexandria and talked. Sophie called him Dad all the time now. She told him about school and her friends. She still carried Clover the rabbit everywhere. She talked about wanting to be a veterinarian when she grew up. Olivia called him Dad, too. She was warm and affectionate. She showed him every drawing she made. She told him about her piano lessons and played songs for him over the phone. She talked constantly, and Michael loved listening to her. Emma was different. She still called him Michael or Mr. Thompson. She was polite, but distant. She talked to him more than before, but she kept a wall between them. Michael understood. He hurt her mother. He was not there when she needed him. Trust takes time. One Saturday morning, Michael called Denise. "Can I take the girls somewhere today?" Michael asked. "Where?" Denise said. "The Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. Emma loves science. I think she would enjoy it." Denise was quiet for a moment. "I will ask them." 20 minutes later, Denise called back. "They want to go, but I am coming with you." "Of course," Michael said. They agreed to meet at the museum at 10 o'clock. Michael drove to Washington, D.C. early. He parked near the museum and waited outside the entrance. At exactly 10 o'clock, Denise arrived with the girls. Emma wore jeans and a science t-shirt. Olivia wore a colorful dress. Sophie wore jeans and carried Clover. "Good morning," Michael said. "Morning," Olivia said. She was already excited. They walked into the museum together. The building was enormous, with high ceilings and marble floors. Families and tourists filled the halls. "Where do you want to go first?" Denise asked. "Dinosaurs," Olivia said. "I want to see the gemstones," Emma said. "I want to see the butterflies," Sophie said quietly. Michael smiled. "We can see all of it." They went to the dinosaur exhibit first. Huge dinosaur skeletons filled the room. Olivia ran from one to the next. She read the information signs out loud. "This is a Tyrannosaurus rex. It lived 68 million years ago." Emma walked more slowly. She stopped at each display and read everything carefully. She took notes in a small notebook she brought with her. Michael walked beside her. "Do you have a favorite dinosaur?" "The Triceratops," Emma said. "It was an herbivore. That means it only ate plants. It had 3 horns and a large frill around its head for protection." "You know a lot about dinosaurs," Michael said. "I read about them," Emma said simply. They moved to the gemstone exhibit next. The room was dark with spotlights on colorful stones. Emma pressed close to the glass cases. She stared at the diamonds and rubies and emeralds. "They are beautiful," Emma whispered. "They are formed deep underground," Michael said, "under extreme heat and pressure." Emma looked at him. "You know about gemstones?" "I read about them when I was your age," Michael admitted. "I wanted to be a geologist." "What is a geologist?" Sophie asked. "Someone who studies rocks and minerals," Michael explained. "Why did you not become one?" Emma asked. Michael thought about his answer. "Because I chose business instead. I thought making money was more important than doing what I loved. I was wrong." Emma nodded slowly. She turned back to the gemstones. They ate lunch at the museum cafeteria. Olivia got pizza. Emma got a sandwich. Sophie got macaroni and cheese. Michael bought everyone dessert. After lunch, they went to the butterfly exhibit. It was a warm room filled with plants and flowers. Butterflies flew freely around them. Sophie's eyes went wide with wonder. A blue butterfly landed on Sophie's shoulder. Sophie froze. She whispered, "Dad, look." Michael smiled. "It likes you." The butterfly stayed for a moment, then flew away. Sophie watched it go. They spent 3 more hours at the museum. They saw the ocean exhibit. They saw the mammals. They They saw ancient artifacts from Egypt. Finally, Denise said, "It is time to go. We have been here for 5 hours." "Already?" Olivia said. They walked toward the exit. The path was crowded with families leaving the museum. They had to cross a busy hallway to get to the parking lot. "Stay close together," Denise said. Emma grabbed Denise's hand. Olivia grabbed Emma's hand. Sophie looked around. Then she reached for Michael's hand. They walked through the crowd together. Sophie's small hand felt warm in Michael's. She did not let go until they reached the parking lot. When they got outside, the sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. "Thank you for today," Olivia said. "That was so fun." "You are welcome," Michael said. Sophie hugged him. "I loved the butterflies." Emma stood a few feet away. She looked at Michael. She did not smile, but her face was softer than usual. "Thank you, Michael," Emma said. "I had a good day." "I am glad," Michael said. They started walking toward Denise's car. Emma walked next to Michael. Olivia ran ahead with Sophie. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "You are doing better than I expected." Michael looked at her. "Thank you for giving me a chance." Emma nodded. "You show up every time. You do not make excuses. You listen." Michael felt his throat tighten. Emma stopped walking. She turned to face him. "You can call yourself our dad now, if you want to." Michael's eyes filled with tears. He tried to speak, but could not. He nodded. "Okay," Emma said. She turned and walked toward the car. Michael stood frozen. Emma gave him permission to call himself their father. After a year of trying, after a year of showing up, she was letting him in. Denise walked over to Michael. The girls were already in the car. "You heard what Emma said?" Denise asked. "Yes," Michael whispered. Denise looked at him for a long moment. "You are doing better, Michael. Keep going." "Thank you," Michael said, "for giving me this chance. I know I did not deserve it." "You are right. You did not deserve it," Denise said. "But the girls deserve a father. So I gave you the opportunity. You did the rest." Michael nodded. "I will keep showing up, I promise." "Good," Denise said. She walked to her car and got in. Michael watched them drive away. Olivia waved through the window. Sophie pressed her face against the glass. Emma sat in the back seat, looking forward. Michael drove back to his small apartment in Arlington. He made a simple dinner. Then he sat at his small table and wrote in a journal. Dr. Green had suggested he write down his thoughts. "Today, Emma gave me permission to call myself her father. I do not have words to describe how that feels. For a year, I have been trying to earn their trust. I moved to Virginia. I took a lower-paying job. I went to therapy. I showed up every single week. And today, Emma said I could be their dad. I lost everything this year, my company, my money, my reputation, my marriage. But I gained the only thing that really matters, my daughters. I will never get back the 6 years I missed. I will never be the father who was there from the beginning, but I am here now, and I will keep showing up for as long as they let me." Michael closed the journal and put it away. He looked at the photo from the school play on his table. He picked it up and smiled. The next morning was Sunday. Michael woke up early. He made coffee and sat by the window. The sun was rising over Arlington. The sky was pink and gold. Michael's phone buzzed. A text message from Sophie. "Good morning, Dad. Can we go to the park today?" Michael smiled. He typed back, "Yes. I will ask your mom." He called Denise. She agreed. That afternoon, Michael drove to Greenfield Park, the same park where he first met his daughters a year ago. Denise was there with all 3 girls. They ran to the playground. Michael sat on the bench with Denise. "A year ago, I sat on this bench and watched them play," Michael said. "I did not know their names. I did not know anything about them. And now? Denise asked. Now I know Emma wants to be a doctor. Olivia loves art and music. Sophie wants to be a veterinarian. I know Sophie is scared of snakes. I know Olivia talks in her sleep. I know Emma is the most responsible person I have ever met, even at 6 years old. Denise nodded. You have learned a lot. I want to keep learning, Michael said. I want to be part of their lives forever. Then keep showing up, Denise said simply. Michael watched his daughters play. Emma was on the monkey bars. Olivia was on the swings. Sophie was in the sandbox with Clover. Michael thought about his old life. The penthouse, the expensive cars, the business meetings, the status. None of it mattered. None of it made him happy. This made him happy. Sitting on a bench in a park watching his daughters play. Michael could not change the past. He could not give them back the 6 years he missed. But he could be here now. And that was enough. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen